Hey guys, good morning. Al here. So I get a lot of questions, about what to do in a drought situation, and I wanted to kind of address that because there's not a whole lot we can do other than following 6 soil health principles, reducing tillage, trying to keep your soil covered, etc. But especially in the deer world, if we're trying to grow essentially warm season cover crops, like we use our Nitro Boost at Vitalize Seed, the best advice I can give is you have to evaluate every single field. So we have fields that are much larger than the one I'm sitting in right now. This is not even a field, actually. This is just where I test the drill next to the barn. Just check, double check the depth, double check all the tubes are cleared, etc. But I wanted to highlight it because it paints a good picture as to kind of worst case scenario of a food plot. So this is up on top of a ridge. It's the highest point, probably in 100 acres, give or take. So it's definitely on the highest ridge on the nearest 100 acres. And then it kind of goes down and then it kind of comes back up. So that in and of itself is somewhat inherently dry when you do get moisture. The second thing is this field is, like I said, just used for testing the drill, but it paints a really good picture. So it's not even, I don't even know what it is. It's a 1/50th of an acre. It's just a little tiny area where I do a couple passes with the drill to check everything. But I planted and we got really good rain like 2 days after I planted, or maybe the day after actually. And it hasn't rained since. So I planted early this year and just wanted to kind of push my limits and see how early could I get it in the ground. And it was great. I timed some early spring rains. However, in some of my other fields, even without rainfall, look amazing. However, on these really small fields, if you don't get the rain, the browse pressure, regardless of what you're planting, is going to be so immense if you have any type of deer density. So I just want to highlight that's why an exclusion fence is so important. I always want to show people the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's no secrets to these things. We need moisture. We can try to keep the ground covered. Now, in this little 50th of an acre, I see a lot of the spring barley. I see the rape. I see the beans. A lot of the beans, though, are nipped, of course. I saw some American joint vetch that we have in our mix, etc. So I'm seeing a lot of the really cool and good plants, but they're hurting because they haven't had the rainfall. So after being browsed, they're not able to bounce back. So quick view of it, guys. I'll just kind of show you. But hopefully that will help you to understand that, evaluate every single field for what it is, and then make a plan. So I'm going to jump on the tractor. I'm going to test this drill out again, and I'm going to plant a couple areas I didn't get to plant in early May, and a couple of the real small fields. I did check one. It's about just under a half acre. It got real. The inside the exclusion fence is a huge difference. So if I have leftover seed, we'll see if I do or not. I'm not sure if I brought enough, but if we do, I'm probably going to drill it again because we do, knock on wood, have rain in the forecast, and hopefully that'll help to mitigate some of the browse pressure. So these are things we can adjust as we go, guys, as far as seeding rate. A lot of guys want to know exactly what seeding rate is. We have to give recommendations, of course, and that's why we try to stick around 45 pounds the acre. But depending on your soil fertility and deer density and amount of acreage being planted and what's your neighborhood like, are you the only shop in town, you're going to have a lot more browse pressure, and the drought only makes that worse, especially if the seeds have already jumped out of the ground and they're not protected. So just something to keep in mind, guys. Be safe and enjoy the outdoors, and vitalizeseed.com.